guys, I am just hopping on here real quick because we are going to have leftover vegetable beef soup that I made a couple of days ago, and we are out of cornbread. You gotta have cornbread with vegetable soup. So I'm just gonna do a really quick one right now and show you how my mom made the best cornbread. And you see my kitty walking around down there. Okay, so first things first, I am going to preheat my oven to 400 degrees. And I always look inside because I know I have grease in here. So there we go, I'm getting that started. Next thing we have to do is put some oil, vegetable oil, in a pan. And I prefer to make my cornbread in an iron skillet. It just seems to make the best. You get that nice golden crust on it and it is just so good. That's my favorite part. So I'm going to go ahead and put 2 tablespoons of vegetable oil in my pan. And I want to get this really nice and hot so that when I pour my batter in there, it is nice and crispy. It gets that beautiful outer crust like I was saying. So I just kind of move my oil around in there like that. And then I'm just going to set it on my stovetop. And I'm going to turn it on high. That way it can start getting nice and hot. Now, what we need in here is 1/2 cup of flour, regular all-purpose flour. 1/2 cup of all-purpose flour. And then I need 1/2 cup of regular cornmeal. You can use yellow or white, whatever kind you like. We use the yellow, and this is just plain cornmeal. It does not have anything else in it, not self-rising. We are going to be adding all of those other things in here for that. So that was 1/2 cup of yellow cornmeal. Then we like ours a little sweet, not super sweet, but have a little sweetness to it. So we add 1/4 cup of sugar. And you can omit the sugar if you want. That is quite all right. We just have a taste for a little bit of sweet. Then we need 3 teaspoons of baking powder. 3 teaspoons of baking powder. 2 and 3. 1/4 teaspoon of salt. I'm sorry. Yes, 1/4 teaspoon of salt. I have to look just to make sure. Don't want to mess anything up. Okay. 1 egg. 1/2 cup of milk, and this is regular milk. And that is it. We are going to stir, and I prefer to use a whisk on this. Get all of that good stuff all stirred up in there. It's going to be a tiny bit thick at the very beginning, but that oil that is going on in that pan over there, when it gets nice and hot, right before I pour this in, I'm going to pour that oil back into this batter. And I always like to let my batter sit for just a little bit because the baking soda that's in there is going to start doing its thing. I don't know what it counteracts with, but it starts bubbling and starts getting a little bit of a, I don't know what you'd call it. I guess a fuller, fluffier consistency, and I think that helps make your cornbread to be a little fluffier. You see it smoking back here? I don't know if y'all can or not, but it's hot. So I'm gonna turn off my stovetop. And I'm gonna take this oil that's nice and hot, and I'm going to pour it into, you hear that sizzle? Pour it down into my bowl. And you have to be careful. I'm using a bowl that's silicone, so I'm not worried about it melting. I wouldn't do that in a plastic bowl. I prefer to use my metal bowl, but I have something else in there right now. But anywho, we'll get this very carefully because that oil is going to be hot and you don't want to splash it back up on you and get it in your face or on your hands because it is extremely hot. So, our pan is already greased because that's what we just got through doing. I'm going to let this sit for about 5 minutes and then I will come back with you and we'll get it poured up. Alrighty? Okay, y'all. It has fluffed up a little bit. I don't think y'all would be able to even see it if I showed you. But it gets a real foamy almost consistency. Okay, the iron skillet that I'm using, mine measures, it's about 9.5 inches across, 11 inches corner to corner. So I just wanted you guys to know that. And I'm going to go ahead and pour this up. Our oven is preheated. Again, I did it to 400 degrees. My skillet is still pretty hot from sitting on this eye. And there we go. Just kind of spread it into the corners a little bit. You want it to be even so you don't have a lopsided piece of cornbread. This is still hot, so I'm going to use this to put it in there. And we're going to cook at 400 degrees. And if I'm doing muffins, which I will do sometimes, those take about 12 minutes. They cook really quickly. This, I think, will go about 15, but I'll let you know exactly how long it takes in just a second. All right, guys, 15 minutes. That's how long it took. I'm going to take this out of here. And you can see it's kind of pulling away from the edges. That's how you know it's ready. Okay, I'm not 100% sure it's just going to dump out. So before I go tearing it up, I want to get something to get up underneath there just in case. Because I don't want my cornbread to be yucky. It's got to be pretty, y'all. Alrighty. And I like to dump it out immediately. That way it doesn't get all soggy. And once I get it out here, I can either cool it a little bit before I get some, or just grab some now and put some butter on it. But there you go. Nice and golden. It's beautiful and it's delicious, and we're going to have some vegetable beef soup with it. So y'all go make you some cornbread, and I will see y'all later. Bye, y'all.